You know, for the longest time, everybody's been talking about which witnesses have been pretty open and talking about these things, their experience with reverse engineering. They're on podcasts talking about it, but when it comes to going under oath and telling other government officials about it, they can't. Their clearances, they'll lose this, they'll lose that. Lakatsky, Stratton, Eric Davis, Matt Brown, the list on and on and on and on, right? Well, Eric Davis was the one that I was always bringing up because I said, well, look, the guy was doing a debriefing with Luna, and he's talking to Burleson, and on all these things, and yet he's not telling everybody else under oath. Like, what's the deal? So he said recently, he said, look, if President Trump says I'm waiving this thing, you can talk. Your NDA, it's Dunsky. I'll talk. So let me play this clip, and you guys tell me what you make of it.
Where's the proof? We have alien spaceships in our possession. Mm-hmm. We have bodies. Where and why can't I get the specifics to verify those claims?
If the President of the United States issued an executive order that absolves me of all of my TSSCI NDAs. NDAs are non-disclosure agreements. Those are the agreements we have to sign for every compartment in our SCI clearances. So if the President waives or absolves my obligation to those NDAs, and I get subpoenaed by Congress, somebody on Capitol Hill, some committee, either in the Senate or the House or the both, to reveal everything I know that I learned from my investigations, both unclassified and classified, into the legacy UAP, crash retrieval, and hardware reverse engineering and NHI programs, I would do so. If I could be waived from that or absolved in some fashion by presidential order, and if Congress subpoenas me, yes, I would go and tell them everything I know.
I asked them those specific questions because I feel the frustration among the community, among people that have seen, for instance, Dave Grush back in 2023 making these extraordinary claims and not really providing publicly the extraordinary evidence needed to verify those claims. So I'm constantly thinking as a filmmaker, a documentary filmmaker, how to address those issues. Okay, so you've got someone with all these clearances and you signed NDAs. How do we circumvent that? So I've been asking a lot of people like Eric Davis, would you be willing, provided under the right circumstances, we make a plea to President Trump, whoever the president is, the president of the United States, wave the magic wand, provide immunity, which they can do immediately. Would you testify under oath to a bipartisan group of lawmakers and give the details needed to verify the claims? And they're all saying yes. So let's do it. And if there's nothing to it, then hey, you got nothing to hide.
A lot of people don't know this. Did you know that there's an online cannabis company that ships federally legal THC? It's right to your door. They have found a way to combine THC with carefully selected functional ingredients to target nearly every mood and health concern you can think of. I am talking about Mood.com's incredible line of functional gummies, and you can get 20% off your first order at Mood.com. You got to use that promo code DTE. Whether that's Mind Magic gummies for deep work creativity, PMS support to erase cramps and balance mood swings, or their sexual euphoria gummies to help you feel ready for action and turn every touch into a full body experience. Everything ships right to your door discreetly. No dispensary lines, no awkward conversations, just better days and nights delivered to your doorstep. Best of all, not only is Mood product backed by a 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but as I mentioned, listeners get 20% off their first order if you use that code DTE. Head on over to Mood.com, find the functional gummy that matches exactly what you're looking for, and let Mood help you discover your perfect mood. Don't forget to use the code DTE when you check out to save 20% of your first order. Mood. All right, so a little bit of an older clip, but nonetheless, I think relevant, right? And I think that the relevant side of it is that, look, whoever the president is, as they say, and right now it's President Trump, and every president, whether it's him or Biden, Obama, Bush, whoever, they all say, "Oh, we want to be transparent with the people." Do you though? Here's a guy who's working for these programs who say, yeah, if you waive it, I'll talk. He full well knows they ain't gonna waive shit. They're just not. They're not going to waive anything because if it's not just about this particular thing, maybe there's other things and other secrets and other national security things that they don't want out there that he can talk about, he can discuss, that doesn't just cover that particular thing. Plus the fact that if it is this thing and they don't want these secrets out and they don't want it revealed that they've been working on it, and it is, I think there is relevance to the fact that if there are people working on technology in general in multiple countries and people are trying to get their a la kind of space race first, that it does not behoove the countries to go first. Now, there might be arguments, and I'm sure the conversations have been had, that there has been conversations of who should go first, why it would be beneficial to tell people about it. But it could also let up a lot of secrets and other things. But as far as Eric Davis goes, here's a guy that, again, has been talking very much so to documentary filmmakers. He's talked to podcasters. He's talked about, and so, and Lukatsky just did this whole thing with Jeremy Corbell again. And they're all talking on podcasts, and they're all talking there because it's like, there's two ways to look at it if you want to. One, they know they're safe, and they know they can finally tell their truth, and they can say, listen, this is what it is. I can't say this stuff under oath, but this is where I can tell you. I'm telling you all facts right now. This is exactly what I did, who I am, what we have, and I'm staking my reputation on it, and I'm going out there everywhere to talk about it. That's option one. Option two is they're full of shit. I mean, because it's like, well, we know that they're never going to pull the NDAs, so I'm never going to testify. And I'll never testify because I'm not going to lose my job. I'm not going to lose my benefits. I'm not going to lose all this stuff. They don't give a crap if I talk about it all over the place. And maybe they say stop doing it. I'm like, why? What are you going to? Nobody can. You can't. It's not official. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that could be one or two of the reasons. I have no idea, but you wish. Everybody wishes. They'd be like, and even the skeptics, and even the people who just are tired of this subject in general. You know, it's like we've said it a million times over. Okay, look, shut these people up. Let the guy talk. Let him go under oath. Waive his India. Let him talk about everything that he knows. Let's call his bluff. Let's see him really do it. And because he would have to testify, as he said, if he was subpoenaed. But I think that one of the reasons they don't subpoena these people is they know they can't say anything. I mean, why would you subpoena Lukatsky, Davis, and all of them? If it's like, well, because that's what people had said. You got to subpoena these people. You got to get them. You got to make them testify. Yeah, but if they're not allowed to testify, why in the world would they not just say, I can't answer that under this, this, and this. I choose not to answer that. Plead the fifth. So there's no. I don't know. I've been getting absolutely frustrated with the topic in general, with how it continues to be covered in the same way that it has been over the last 2 years. It's just the same runaround, and that's what I'm frustrated with. My opinion, what I have seen many times since I've been covering this and paying attention to this, is that what does happen to people is because they get frustrated, they then start to not believe at all and go the other way and start calling everybody, grifters and skeptics and bullshit artists, not skeptics, but bullshit artists and fakers and they're part of the cult now. That ain't me. I'm frustrated with the lack of the way that things are progressing. My stance on my beliefs and all this stuff hasn't changed in the slightest. I mean, maybe even more so in that I think that there's way more out there. I think there's way more with science that we don't understand that we could possibly, I don't know about never understand, but we're not capable of it. The average citizen is never going to find out about it. There are people who do know about these things, and I believe that we won't find that out. I believe that people are so selfish and so power hungry and couldn't really care about the survival of the entire human race as much as it's profiting off of the human race or surviving who's close to them, that if there were things that were beneficial to us as a society because of the way that money and everything else drives this country, or the world rather. It just won't change. And plus the fact that human beings in general are scared to change. And if you did have technology that could change the world overnight, or an acknowledgement of other things that would challenge certain beliefs that we've had for thousands upon thousands of years, you could see where people would want to keep that secret. And I just feel in my mind what I would want to see is someone like a Eric Davis testify, Katsky testify, them testify, so the conversation could really be had. And I'd like to see mass media cover it and everything else too. So the conversation could be had of, well, let's really break this down as a society and let's see how real it is. Let's see now with all these people that seem to be telling the truth here, let's get some real answers. And if we got those real answers, I'd like to see where we could evolve as a species, right? Because in how we're going, I don't want to be preachy here, which is definitely coming off preachy, but where we're going now as a human race, it's pretty ugly, and it's not like there haven't been wars and hatred and other things over the course. It just seems elevated now. It seems gross now. So maybe we need a change, Maybe we need to change. Maybe people do know things, because I don't really blame people for, like, you see that girl who's mocking the age of disclosure and all that and whatever. And you see people who, no matter what, something's in the sky, they mock. I can't say that I blame them, because there's no consequences to blaming them. Meaning, and not that anything should happen to them, but meaning that consequences in proof. There's no consequences in proof. So you can say, and I think she was right in where she said, why are we trusting the government now? And if you dive deep into it, especially what we were doing, there are certain aspects of the government that it looks like, and this is for a lot of different topics, not just UFOs, but if you look at that topic, seems like there are actual people in the government who are fighting for it. And then there's the other part of the government you don't trust. But unfortunately, there's still some of these people who are fighting for it on other things that they talk about. You can't trust them on anything else too. I've said it many times over. I don't trust politicians at all. I don't trust the government at all. But it doesn't mean that there aren't people inside of those organizations that aren't trying to expose other things, whether it's to elevate themselves into power. Because think about the people that do let you know these things are out there, there has been a cover up, those people will elevate into power. So don't say, well, why do we trust them? We don't trust them to think that they're doing something right and justice. We're trusting them to feel that they can benefit themselves by telling us the truth. That's the difference. And that's what people don't understand when they talk about these things. But I can't say I blame these people who are, because there's, like I said, there's no consequences with proof at all. It just isn't. There's constant, grainy footage. There's, well, what's that jellyfish thing? Well, it might not be anything at all. It might be a balloon. Let's prove it's not a balloon. It goes into the water. Did it? Oh, you don't know. You don't have that footage. Oh, okay. What about the one that knocks the thing out of the way and doesn't break, the missile that hits it? What about that one? Well, it could be the grainy footage, could be this. It looked good. We'll cover it in a little things, but we don't really know what it is. All right. How about this? The list goes on and on and on. So it gets frustrating. And I happen to believe the majority of them. But I can also understand what people are going, it's a balloon. I hate the balloon thing, but I get it. Because there's no one to say, stop it with the balloon talk. Because look, here's the clear footage. It's not a balloon. Shut your ass. But you can't do that. You can do balloon talk all day long because there's just no proof. All hell's breaking loose. It didn't. This is going to be the most meaningful hearing of all time. It wasn't. So when stuff like that keeps happening, it's just a runaround. It's a vicious circle. So will Eric Davis ever actually testify? Will the NDA get pulled? It won't. I believe more and more what Matt Brown said. It's got to come from citizens, and it just has to. Something else has to break that way, because the government side of it is just it's a runaround. It's a clown show, to be honest. So I don't know. We'll see. Bit of a skeptical, I would say, more than skeptical video here, but nonetheless, still one. So I hope you guys will share your opinions. I want to hear them. Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. Make sure you click like, subscribe, comment, do all that. And man, oh man, if you don't get mood.com, you can't chill like me, homie. All right. See you later.